Welcome to Arise Life, a community of believers being equipped, empowered, and released into their destiny. For more information, go to ariselife.org or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
All right, you all. So I feel like I have so much buzzing and swirling in my head and so many concepts that I can feel, I can taste, but I need God's grace to even be able to share and express them. For a while now, Jesus has been saying this phrase to me. He's been saying this phrase, paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Do you know that the kingdom of heaven is a whole different paradigm? It's a whole different reality. It's not just this life a little bit improved, but it's a whole different reality. And I feel like there's an invitation for us to enter that reality. The entry point is not obvious because to enter, you have to lay some things down and you have to think in a different way, not the way we have been trained to think since day one. I'm going to read a passage to kind of just start this thought of how different it is. It's in Philippians. All right, you see glasses are coming out. Let's see. All right. So it's Philippians chapter 2, verse 6. I'm going to read it, and let's just let it sink in for a minute. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who being in the very nature of God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. So who being in very nature of God did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Wow, that's a different mindset. That's not what I was taught growing up. Did anyone else was taught to not use things for your own advantage? Like that you were born, for example, like in an awesome family or in America or any of that, or have been given money or education. Has anyone had that thought not to use it for your own advantage? Recently? Okay. It's just whole different. I am like extremely uncomfortable with this message because it challenges me as much as it's going to challenge each one of us. Because trust me, none of us have been raised, even if we've been raised in in Christianity with the Bible, none of us have been raised in this view that Jesus is inviting us into in fullness. Okay? So I want to just undo some of the presuppositions, some of our things like I already know this kind of thing. So another passage we're going to go into is, I think that we have it on the slides, it's Ezekiel 11, verse 19. I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from them their heart of stone and give them heart of flesh. They will follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. They will be my people, and I will be their God. So as we were reading the Sermon on the Mount last week, starting to dig into it, Sermon on the Mount, like everything Jesus was talking about, makes no sense from the attitude of this world, right? From the mindset of this world. It makes no sense because he talks about basically laying down all of our protection mechanisms, okay? So I'm going to draw for a minute because I'm very visual. I wanted to figure out like an actual, like a stuffy or something to bring of a heart or some kind of object, but I'm just going to draw it on the board. All right. So imagine that this is our heart of flesh, right? And with the Sermon on the mountain where Jesus is talking to them, he's highlighting every area that we have to let go to be able to enter the kingdom and to live from the kingdom. So let's imagine that there is another encrusted thing around our heart, the heart of stone. In other passages in the Bible, it talks about the circumcision of the heart, right? Cutting off the heart of stone, cutting off that flesh, cutting off that false view of ourselves, of God, of reality. And it's this thing, right? And from the very beginning, as we are born, we start to function in this. So what are some of the things that Jesus in Matthew talks about when he's like breaking up this whole shell? What are some of the things that have to go? Who remembers? You can open to it. It's Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. So he goes after every area. I was like reading it and I was like, wow. Whew, Jesus, I almost like cannot take you seriously there. Because you're talking about some stuff that's not like, I have not been trained that it's a good thing to let go of. Okay? So what are some of the things that he's saying we have to let go of? Huh? So we have to love our enemies, right? So that's already a big no-no. I mean, that's... What else is in that hard shell? It's Matthew. It's like 3 chapters. It scans Matthew 5, 6, and 7. So we cannot have revenge, right? He talks about. I wrote them out. So basically, he says not to save for the future. So that's not how I was raised. Who else was raised just to not worry, not to save? Is there anyone here in this room? There's some? Okay. Well, he says that. He says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and vermin destroy. Okay? And then he goes, like, for the most precious thing, he goes for my anxiety. And he says, do not worry. Jesus, are you crazy? Right? I mean, how dare he say that? That is kind of off. So, no worry. But how am I going to, like, even be able to function, right? If I lay down worry, like, how am I going to know how to protect myself, right? That's crazy. So, no worry, no saving. What else is he saying in that passage? Like, I feel like everyone knows Sermon on the Mountain, right? He talks about, what else? No, anger. So anger equals killing someone. That's kind of intense. What else? he says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. Jesus, how am I even going to figure out my world if I don't judge? Like, that's just such a mechanism, I feel like, for all of us, right? It's like, how am I even going to function? No judge.
Is that common phrase? I don't judge. Yeah, right.
Huh? Forgive your enemies. It's really going downhill, don't you think? No grudge. How? Like, is anyone else challenged to, like, how the heck are we supposed to even function in this? If we're honest, like, let's be honest. Like, you know what? You can go somewhere else and be fake. Can you be just honest for 1 minute and be like, no, Jesus, like, I don't like this. I want to rip those pages out if I'm, like, completely honest, because this is horrible. Okay, so no grudge. No judge, no grudge. Can anyone do, like, a rhyme real quick? What else does he talk about? I feel like he just packs it all in. Like all of this stuff where we can get, like, points for being spiritual, like praying out loud, giving money, fasting. He said, do it privately, so no one knows. It's like, Jesus, even that? Yeah. Yeah, not swearing, not giving your word. Swearing, like making an oath. No retaliation. You have to get let go. So it's not adultery just doing it. It's actually like if you have, like, lust in your heart for people or things. It's already in this paradigm. It's already doing it. So he goes hardcore. He switches on them. The Pharisees have tried so hard to fix up their externals, right? The external life, and even that was, like, so hard. They worked, like, they gave their entire energy to just be able to hold themselves together externally. But Jesus comes in and he's like, no, like, external, yes. External still has to be, but, like, I'm going after the heart. I'm going after that space where you live, 24/7 in your head and in your heart. And, like, this whole outside thing has to go. Whew. Is anyone else uncomfortable with this idea? Yeah? Can we just be honest for a minute? That this is how we figured out life so far. Like, I don't think anyone was brought up in a way that to say, like, you don't have to self-protect. All of us have been told opportunity is limited, right? So you have to do what? You have to go for it. You have to work very hard. You have to measure up. You have to do it yourself, right? Take what you deserve. If you have to, like, step on someone in the process, that works too. Time is limited. So, okay, I'm going to draw another little thing here.
Some of these are easier for other people than others to, like, not do and struggle with more, right?
100%.
Might be easy to say, oh, I'm okay, because I don't deal with that one.
Yep.
Of course, you deal with all the others.
Yep. So yeah, he goes after our hearts. So, and it's hard because you can't really, like, no one really knows what's going on in my heart. But I want to just submit to us that if we're not experiencing benefits of the kingdom, walking in freedom, walking in love, walking in joy, walking in peace, walking in just supernatural, walking in the provision of Jesus, that maybe there is more. Can we just have that little suspicion? Maybe there is more. And maybe there's some things in our minds and in our hearts have to shift to even enter it and to be able to receive. Because the thing with that shell outside of our heart, it protects us, right? Like, and survival mechanisms and all of our mechanisms are good because they actually keep us alive, right? We make it to a certain point. But what does it do if like something is trying to get in through that shell? It keeps it out, right? Like that crust does not allow the good things and the things that Jesus has for us to get in there, right? So it's a choice. I mean, it's a hard choice, honestly, right? Because on one side, like if I take that thing off, I am vulnerable. Like that heart is soft and squishy and gushy and anyone can like do stuff to it. Right? Like if I stop judging, if I stop self-protecting, if I forgive, if I don't hold a grudge, like that is extremely vulnerable. Like how am I going to make it? And like hear me on this. Like I'm wrestling with those questions, okay? Like I'm not standing here like, you know, I'm walking this perfectly and therefore like, but I want us to wrestle with that. And I want us to submit like that there is maybe more, you know, that there is more and that there is the attitude of the heart that allows us to walk connected and walk in abundance and walk in freedom that maybe we haven't experienced yet. And in that shift, I feel like Jesus has been speaking to me a lot through the whole also paradigm of the mindset or of the lens, right, through which I see the world. What would you say if you called out some of your lenses through which you see the world? Like, what is your lens?
It's not safe.
It's not safe? No, but just like for this group of people, like what would you say as some of our Arise lens, biblical worldview, like some of the other worldviews like that? What are some conservative worldview? Successful worldview? Above all. Okay, that's your worldview. Okay, come on. Thanks for being real. Huh?
You wanting our personal worldview?
Yeah, I mean just personal worldview or some worldviews that you know about. Like what kind of worldviews? Huh?
You see a lot of pain.
Pain worldview.
Secular worldview?
Secular worldview. Suspicion. Okay. Well, I want to suggest that above all of those other worldviews, that there is two worldviews that are prevalent. There is separation, and there's connection. The worldview of connection is the worldview of the kingdom. And this worldview is world or empire. And I want to submit that those worldviews shifted. Who knows where they shifted? The first time the separation worldview was introduced. The Garden of Eden, right? So Eve was leaving, even Adam and Eve were living in this worldview where I've thought a lot about it. Like, what was Eve's internal life before sin? Like, think about it. Do you think she's ever thought that she's not doing enough? Do you think that she ever thought that she's not spiritual enough? Do you think she's ever thought that she's not thin enough? Do you think she's ever thought that there's not going to be enough to eat? Do you think she ever thought that God was not going to show up? Like, just try that mindset for size for a minute of how she must have thought before the lie came in. Before the lie of separation came in. Content, completely content, right? Yeah. Like, didn't have to worry. Didn't have to judge.
There was no conviction of
Yeah.
anything because they hadn't lived there.
Yeah, she didn't have to self-protect against Adam. They were having a groovy time. Right? Like, wow. That's like a different mindset. Like they were connected to each other. They were connected with God. They were connected with nature. Like, it was really, really beautiful. And so in the kingdom, there is this belief, this idea, this worldview that there is enough. That God is for you, that the universe is for you, like everything is set up for you, right? That there is no separation, there is enough. And here, in this worldview, it's not enough. What do we feel like there's not enough of? Throw some things out. Time. Time is a big one. Never enough time. We don't know what does it mean enough time, but we know there is not enough of it, right? What else? Kindness, love. Provision, yep, money. Never enough money. Never enough time and never enough money, right? What is our biggest things? Why we don't do stuff, right? Not enough time or not enough money. What else? Food, yeah. I heard somewhere said that actually, do you think there's enough food in the world to feed the world? I think they did a study. There's 1.5 times enough food to feed the entire world. And still, there is like thousands of people dying every day, right, from lack of food. Because we all live in this worldview right here, right? And it's every situation that we face, we evaluate either from here or from here. How did Jesus roll with it with a crowd of 5,000 people? When they said, there we have nothing. He took their lunch, right? And then what happened? And then there was more than enough, right? So he operated from this mindset. There's no lack. No lack. Did anyone grow up with this mindset that there is no lack?
We were Italian, we had tons of food.
No, but I don't think anyone grew up with the idea, like from very first in school, like from 4 years old, like you had to perform because there is not enough of what? No. For grades because of what? Opportunity. There is not enough opportunity. Right? We start early, right? Because we're all in the system, right? And it works to a certain degree, but when we believe this whole thing about not enough, we eventually believe that about ourselves too, right? It's like I don't know. I don't think I can ever measure up to anything, right? And the minute you measure up, the ruler is switched and you like have to start all over again. But inside, like, there is such a sense that I'll never measure up. I mean, what does it mean to be spiritual enough? I don't know. What does it mean to be successful enough? I don't know. There's always like, I don't know. So, but I feel like to even entertain what Jesus is speaking about in the Sermon on the Mountain, we have to start switching over to this worldview. Otherwise, the entire thing, let's just be honest, it feels like suicide. If there is no other reality, if there is no other kingdom, if there is no other system where me walking vulnerable and open without that hard self-protection, where it works out for my benefit and for just life abundant, I am not going to do it, right? If there is not another system, if we're still stuck in this system of not enough, I will never lay my life down for someone, right? Because I am like, what have we been taught? Look out for number one, right? Look out for yourself. And there's Jesus comes and is like, give everything away. It's going to be great. Right.
Maybe for you.
Yeah. Great for Jesus. But unless there is a kingdom where there is abundance that we can connect to and have supply and have a supernatural influx into our lives, we would be insane to live in the way Jesus is asking us to live. Can we be honest for a minute? Right? It's insanity. So the separation worldview is me. Me. Me and mine. It's self-protection and self-promotion. Because anything else in this system is madness. Sacrifice and other focused love, others, will never happen in this system. Because I can barely make it. I can barely survive. I can barely protect myself. I can barely keep my things together. Why would I worry about anyone else? Like, that is madness. Unless you start coming over here. Is anyone's like things shifting in your heads? I feel like I'm shifting, but I'm like, I don't know. I am struggling, okay? Because in a lot of ways, I feel like what Jesus is inviting me to do is breathe underwater. Right? I feel the system is so different that it's like breathing underwater. It's not like
He's really trying to come up for air.
trying to come up for air. Yeah. But you...
But they didn't have an example of, except for Jesus coming in at the, taking the loaves and the fishes. They never had an example of
Yeah.
something being, that multiplied.
Yeah. So we have that example in Jesus living out of this, right? It's so different. It's so different. And it's so challenging because all of us, no matter if whatever we were brought up in, it was probably still very much this system of there is not enough, they're out to get me, let's separate and just worry about our little thing, right? And this part is so different. It's so different. And I feel like he's inviting us, he's starting to shift our minds, as he's starting to shift our hearts. He's inviting us into something different, into that paradigm shift. To come into the kingdom. And it says in chapter 7 in Matthew, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Because this way is normal, right? Take care of yourself. Yeah, there's not enough, but you just make do. You just survive. You just become, try to measure up. You never will, but try. This is normal. This is how we're trained to think. And this is so different. This is so different. This mindset of letting go of things that would protect me. Letting go of those mechanisms, letting go, forgiving, not judging, not holding a grudge, giving, blessing our enemies. It's such a different mindset that it's not going to happen automatically. Right? We're trained to think in this way automatically. This whole way of thinking is going to take transformation. And, it says, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's where the transformation starts to come in. Where we're not relying for those mechanisms, for those things, for those concepts, for that worldview to guide us and protect us. But we're stepping in here saying, Jesus, I'm letting go of the things that are a hard shell around my heart. I'm willing to let go. I want that heart of flesh. I want that soft heart that is able to connect, that is able to connect to people, that is able to connect to you, Jesus. Because where else we experience separation? In the whole lie that God is not with us, right? The truth is that everywhere we go, everything we experience, Holy Spirit is right there with us. We're not separated. Wherever we go, at work on Monday morning, He is as much there with you as He is right now, right? He's speaking, He's giving wisdom, He's giving ideas. He's saying, step into this, more than enough. Monday morning is, you're hurrying about. There's more than enough. Like, what does that mean, Jesus? What does it look like? It's very, very practical. It's very practical. It's very real. But it's very different. It's very different. It feels different. As this mindset, the best way I can describe right now is what it feels like to me is every time I'm in this mindset of separation and fools and lies, and it's like going down and into myself and down. Does that track with anyone? When I step into this attitude, the attitude of the kingdom, the truth, the freedom, it's like up and out. It's towards God, towards others. My heart is outward. That's the biggest difference. That's how I can tell moment by moment. Because situations happen, right? You're walking through and situations happen. And there is a choice in every situation. Am I going to go down and in? Am I going to believe the lie that I'm separated? That there is no flow of life? That there is not enough? Or am I going to believe that there is enough and therefore to step into impossible situations that Jesus will be calling me into? I see this picture of just this whole group of people, like so many of us, like starting to shift into a different reality and starting to walk differently, starting to walk supernaturally, because we are starting to believe that there is more than enough for every situation, for every problem, for every issue. And we start to let go of our own way, of our own abilities to sort things out according to our own standards and our own mindsets, and step into a completely different paradigm of the kingdom. So just a couple things again about just as you're processing your own thinking, your own world. So this worldview is always, because I don't have enough, I have to take care of myself no matter what. If it's at the expense of others, I will do it. Because I have to protect myself, like I have to survive. In this worldview, because there is limited opportunity, you need certainty. Like, you're just not going to risk it in this worldview. Because things are limited, because you are kind of cut off on your own, it's too risky to try things. Okay? So this worldview requires certainty. This worldview allows for mystery. Like, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, Jesus is leading me. He's telling me to make this step. Like, it might not turn out the way I expect. But because there is more than enough, because I'm in a different system, I can try things that I will never try in this one. So I have a little activity for us, y'all. I'm so excited. If maybe a couple people could help me, Warren and Scott, could you guys, or maybe Josh, you guys could give out those little notepads. I have the notepads, and then I have pens. I'm gonna make you all write. What? I know. Just one per person. Yeah, we got those little pads because I was talking about wanting everyone to write, and Peter was like, "It's really uncomfortable and on your lap, just to with the paper." So those are little paper pads. So on your first page, draw a heart. And then around it, draw the outer layer. You know how I drew it on the board with the two portions? All right, close your eyes for a minute. And just say, Holy Spirit, I invite you to come and search my heart and show me anything that's hardening my heart. and making it hard for me to receive from you and others. And as things start coming to you, I want you to write them down around that heart, like around the heart. Just things that just feel heavy, things that feel like they're a hard rock thing that's keeping you shut down, that's keeping you from receiving, from experiencing His presence, from experiencing others. Most of us don't have to dig too far. It's kind of at the surface. Those things you think about at 3 a.m. Those grievances, offenses, unforgiveness, judgment. Any lies that just weigh heavy. Just keep writing them out, just like all around. If you run out of space on one page, you can go to the next. I would really encourage you to write stuff out if you can. If you are able and know how to write, that would be good. I'm not going to show this paper to anyone or share it in any way. So just be honest with just whatever Holy Spirit is showing you. Just write it out. Just unload, unburden. Like everything that feels heavy can just go on that paper. If He's showing you unforgiveness or judgment, just release it really quickly. Just say, Jesus, I just forgive. All right, one more minute to finish this page. So as you stop writing, I want you to close your eyes again. And just imagine Jesus. Imagine, just use your imagination, use the eyes of your imagination. Imagine yourself in a beautiful place with Jesus, somewhere where it's safe and good and beautiful. And in your picture, in your mind, I want you to take that little piece of paper where you wrote things out with your heart and just give it to Jesus. Just all that yucky stuff, all that bad stuff, just hand it over to Jesus. And just watch what He does with it. And I want you to physically do with it what Jesus did in the picture. As you give the paper to Jesus, what He does, unless it's like burning it or something like that. So just do that with that little page. You can. So just let him have it. Let him do with it whatever he wants to do with it. All right, go back into your picture. And just say, Jesus, as I'm letting go of all this junk, of all this hardness, of all this gunk, what do you have for me? What is the truth that you have for me as I'm getting rid of lies? What's in your kingdom that you have for me as I'm letting go? What's in my heart you have for me? And just start writing it out. Just all the good stuff that Jesus has for you. Just write it down on another page. Some of you, it's hard to start writing. I would just encourage you to start writing if it feels like you're making it up, and it will just start flowing. Just start writing down just something you know he wants to give you. Jesus, what are the beautiful things in the kingdom that you have for me that I haven't been able to receive, but you want to give me right now? All right, one more minute to write things down. This is the page I want you to keep and take home and meditate on, and just, this is what he's wanting to give you. This is his promise. This is his truth over you. All right, give Jesus a hug in your picture and come back to me. How did it go? I know this is like super vulnerable and brave, but maybe a couple people have had like cool experience with this activation, with this. I would love for you guys to come up and share real quick. Who's brave? Come on. Wow, you have a lot written.
It's pretty much all the same thing. I asked Jesus, what do you have for me? And I had already heard him say this, but he reiterated in my heart, I make all things new. Mm-hmm. So I realize he's giving me new eyes to see, new ears to hear, new ways to breathe, new ways to receive, new ways to love, new ways to understand, and new ways to stand.
Come on, so good. So good. All right, come on. All right, you'll get your courage together.
First, when I gave him the yucky stuff, it was weird because he just balled it up and ate it.
You know, it's like, okay. And then the wild thing, how when I asked him, what is it that you have for me? And it really came easily. One, he said, complete freedom. And I'm like, complete freedom, because yes, 'cause when you are in connection, you're so free to do everything. You're not bound up by anything. And then he said joy, love, laughter, creativity, favor, wisdom, direction. All that comes so easily, the things that we struggle with, that it just flows naturally when you get rid of all the other stuff, because it has so much more room. It's like a river, and it just flows, and more and more and more and more and more is revealed every day.
Come on, that's so good. Come on, yay. Go, Mary.
So he gives me a place to sleep and comfortably sleep, because I don't comfortably sleep. He said he's going to give me that. He said he's going to surround me with more loving people, more loving friends, with more truth, more space, and a safe place to talk and be me. And he's already provided Amy, who I can tell and trust her with anything. That maybe I just don't want that I tell God and only her. So it's nice.
So good, Mary. Come on.
I feel like he's giving me this even right now. I've got a mailbox at home that's busted, and I need to get it out of the ground. It's stuck in concrete, right? It's stuck. And I feel like he's showing me, you've got a foot over here on this side, stuck in concrete. And he's inviting me to help me get me unstuck from that concrete, out of that, and go ahead and take a leap over here and trust that he's going to catch, right?
Wow.
Okay?
Come on. That's a great picture. I love that picture. Maybe at the mailbox where you've been receiving letters and you didn't even know. Katie.
So he took away the awful stuff. Hi. He took away the awful stuff, but in replacement, I felt like he was saying, he above all of the good things that he wants to give, he's replacing it with me being convinced of my belovedness in his goodness. Because once you really believe that, then everything else kind of falls into place. So.
Come on. So good. So good. Okay, maybe a couple more if anyone else wants to share. Yay.
I kind of want to talk about the things I had to give up along with what he's giving me. Because one thing, so bitterness, which I realized was like a cold anger, insecurity and just relationships in general, and then pride and disdain that kind of stem from the idea that if I'm not valuable, if I'm incompetent, neither are they. So the idea that people who aren't competent, like having an idea that they're less valuable. So I asked, well, what's true? Is that conflict isn't the end of relationship, that he'll carry me through, and that your competence is a gift, not a ruler, and not a ruler for you or others.
Oh, that's good, Ethan.
I was hesitant because I'm feeling very basic with my list here, but first thing that popped in my head was money, and I'm like, that's just a tool. That's not something he's providing. He doesn't need to provide that. That just comes. But love, acceptance, community, time, not feeling like it's always being wasted, opportunity, faith, trust, wealth, compassion, empathy, and then in big, bold letters, family, kids, and future.
Wow, come on. So good. So good.
Y'all are great. Thanks. Mine was simplistic. When I started writing down the bad stuff, suddenly I got this sense of, all that is just you prioritizing self above me. And that hit kind of different. And then when I asked, well, what do you want to give me in response? And all I could get the whole time was, I am enough. As in Jesus, as in God, He's enough. No matter what else I thought I needed, He's enough.
Come on. Right, is anyone holding yourself back, want to share but scared? Come on. Yay.
Okay, so I had imagined myself by the river with Jesus. And then all the stuff I gave up was very me focused. And then when I asked what he had for me in return, I just looked in the water and saw his reflection. And then I saw the sky in the reflection. He just said, I'm giving you the whole world. And then there was birds and bees, and he's and I'm giving you a colony that is my kingdom that provides everything. So.
Wow, come on. Right, last chance. Whew. All right. Well, if the worship team can come up, and if someone can help me get that stuff out of the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's many moving parts. Let's just, as we're standing up, let's just pray together. Let's stand and pray. Holy Spirit, I just ask you to continue the conversation with us, with our hearts that you have started. I ask you to continue speaking to us of what you wanted us to let go and what you want us to receive.
For more information, go to ariselife.org or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.